Hi everyone, Jez here from the Chinese Tech Away, and today we're going to be discussing about battery life, especially for mobile phones. In the last episode, we spoke about the Asus ROG 3, and actually that episode went on for quite some time, and we left out quite a big part, which we feel was really, really important to talk about. So without further ado, here it is. Actually, I want to come up to the point. When we're talking about kind of gamer phones, I always go on about how kind of future facing they are. And one of the features that I do want to mention is, which I think will be put standard in normal phones, is the battery life management system. I really hope that they put these in premium phones. So at the moment, one of the coolest, well, one of the best things that it has at the moment, which I laud to them about, is they're able to change charge power. So instead of having a 30-watt speed charge all the time, you could choose to have a lower 10-watt charge. Why is this important? It's for battery life. The more you charge it at a higher speed overnight, the shorter your battery life is. So when you're charging it overnight, you're not needing it for speed charging purposes. You just put it on a lower speed setting, and that improves long-term battery life. And I think that Samsung and Google's and the Apples really need to start doing that, because that becomes more consumer-friendly practice. It also has the option to just not even charge it 100%. You can charge it at 90 or 80%. And that also saves a lot of battery life when it comes to the overall long-term life of a battery.
Yeah. No, I think it's great that they're doing that. And it addresses a very immediate problem with a lot of phones having, you have a phone and then after a year, the battery life dies and it drains after like 6 hours, where before it used to last a whole day, and it's really irritating. So that's something to prevent against it, which I think is helpful. But I'm right now, it also feels that phone screens are progressing with brightness and refresh rate, like you said, and battery longevity isn't growing at the same rate. I mean, we've had 3,500 milliamp batteries, I feel like, for the longest time, like 6 years, where now we're at 4,000, which is the normal. And that's only a 10% increase. And I think ever since that infamous, was it Note 7 that Samsung launched?
The exploding Samsung phones.
Yes. I feel like Samsung was great. They're always pushing, here's the highest 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 milliamp batteries. And then that phone came out, boom, it exploded. And everyone's like, whoa, let's not go too fast with pushing it. And it almost feels like the industry is taking a step back. And as good as these power management options are, I'd like to see people returning and pushing the envelope on the capacity and density of these phones. And hey, Elon, if you're watching, come on, come out of the battery space for cars and start maybe making some batteries for phones.
Yeah, because one of the things that
Elon's definitely not watching, by the way.
You could hope. But one of the things that in the phone industry that they've done, which I think is quite unconsumer friendly, is they've basically made the phone so that you can't change the battery.
Right. Yeah. And right. That's before you could change in. Yeah.
Correct. So you can just open the back up and just replace the battery, which was and I get why they did that, so that they can ram in more, performance, as well as making the phone waterproof as well.
Yeah. No, you're right. But battery, I just feel like we've been talking about battery life for like decades now. And it's funny, you pull up an old Nokia 3330 or whatever, and they used to last like 10 days. And that's because they didn't have all these flashy screens. And it's like our technology goes back and forth with these phones, where you used to be able to run them forever, and then now it's gone back, and now it's like 1 day is good, 2 days is amazing. But why, we should be pushing this back to a week or 10 weeks. So come on, someone come up with it. A lean, thin phone that lasts a long time.
Or I don't mind, like for me, some of these phones are getting very, very thin. I don't mind a slightly chunkier phone with bigger battery life.
Yeah, yeah. Just a little, and these gaming phones, I think it's an amazing test bed and opportunity because these gamers are of a different, they're very much performance focused rather than purely aesthetic. And yes, they like that gaming look, but they don't need to be the thinnest phones in the market. And, you can
exactly,
test
you're right.
And I think it's great. And ultimately what this ROG 3 phone is doing is it's pushing the envelope with the size of the battery. And, if you buy this phone, you can say that, we're not conforming to the general, let's just make everything glass and nice and polished and appeal to everyone. You need to stand out in this market.
Exactly. And gamers always want bleeding edge technology when it comes to what they're consuming. Yeah. So basically, quite a lot of these phone features will trickle down to normal phones in about a year or two. I made the prediction in one of my videos, my Razer Phone 2, that the 120 hertz refresh rate will be normal within 1 or 2 years in premium phones. And look what happens. Yeah. Samsung S20, the OnePlus 8 Pro, they're all rocking 128 hertz refresh rate screens because they make that much of a difference.
Yeah.
This time around, I don't think 144 hertz from 120 to 144 hertz is that much of a big difference when it comes to performance gains. Yeah. So I think that the next thing that the companies will look at when our Asus ROG does well is I think they're going to try, hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll start doing more battery management tools in the next phones.
Agreed. So once again, it's only Apple that's trailing, still on 60 hertz. And I think they just hold on to that battery performance crown and don't want to make a phone that is a bit more silky smooth. But anyway, that's Apple. They do everything at their own pace.
Exactly. Thanks everyone for checking in. If you like this video, like and subscribe in the bottom below. But in the meantime, we'll see you next time. Bye guys.